Hello and welcome everybody to the TRACKILICIOUS GT3 reverse grid here on Thursdays. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Joined with me today is Bailey K. Apologies, I should have probably sorted that one out before. And welcome, Bailey.
Oh, it's all good, man. Thank you for having me, Mike. I'm looking forward to some clean racing here tonight.
As we have it, though, we're going to be moving on, of course, into the qualifying session very soon here. We are here at the Nürburgring, a very fun track, 3.1 miles. In fact, why don't we have a little deep dive into it here? Of course, Nürburgring, located in Germany, in Nürburgring, Germany. 3.1 miles with 15 corners, 6 to the left, 9 to the right, 57 meters of elevation. It's packed full of action, the first corner being a very tight hairpin. Down on elevation, it's going to be some bumping and banging, I would imagine, into the first lap. But we will, of course, find out as we head on to the session very soon. That will be, of course. Welcome, everybody. I see we have Doc Milwee, Wolf Brecky joining us. Thank you all so much. Hope you're all having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. We are, of course, here in Nürburgring, Germany tonight. We have a load, 22 cars on the grid as it stands. Emirates currently leading the position, Jake Wells behind. Why don't we head on and down into the session, Bailey, and see these cars underway.
Sounds great. You know, it is nighttime. Get some practice during the day, and some of these setups should be finely tuned, and I'm looking forward to see what the guys have.
Most certainly in the wet here as well. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. Welcome, everyone. Kevin joining us. Ollie joining us. Ollie not participating in the championship here tonight. Now, of course, that's something I didn't mention. Why don't we pop up the championship? As we can see, the current driver that we were looking at, Jacob Wells, leading it away. Wait a second. This isn't right. Is it right? Hang on. That isn't right. No, that's not right. Why isn't that right? That should be. I changed it. Anyways. As we get on in here, I'll make sure that gets changed, even though I know I changed that. Why didn't that work? But anyways, as we have here, we see a car off into the first corner. I'm not sure who that was, but that's going to be a common play, I would imagine, Bailey. In these conditions, very challenging here at the Nürburgring.
Absolutely. GT3 cars offering a lot more power behind the wheel, so it's going to be tough to see, especially these lower hanging cars like the McLaren hanging on for dear life as they try to get close to these curbs to keep their speed up. And we're already seeing a little bit of separation in the pace here from the fourth car to the fifth car, about a 2-second window there, so the cars are already starting to reveal who's going to be able to keep up and who's going to be hanging on for dear life.
And Ryan McIntosh leading us away. Jake Wells going to be a tight contender for the pole position. We also have Emirates, who was up there in the front. Now, of course, Emirates driving from, I'm pretty sure, the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. The latency last time around was not the greatest. Hopefully it has been fixed this time. But Jake, of course, over I Suck at This on Twitch in the I Suck at This white Evo. Behind as well, Danny Madrano in the Rockefeller Racing. The McLaren out tonight. Unfortunately, doesn't look like I have the livery for that one. It's a bit of a shame. Love to see the Rockefeller Racing liveries out there. The Honda NSX behind. Now, that's a sight we don't too often see.
No, it is a very, very fun car to drive, but it is very, very difficult to handle. Beautiful car, though.
And
Oh,
go ahead. Oh, sorry, no worries. Danny Madrano here currently coming around the backs and onto the not-so-straight bit. We're going to hop on board here, listen to this twin-turbo McLaren roar down the back. Like I said, not so straight. It's, of course, a bit of a corner there. I don't think it's actually, it is officially a corner. Through Advanbogen, of course. Now into the NGK chicane with the final corner being the Coca-Cola curve. You can see the conditions being very wet. Definitely going to struggle for grip, but able to lay down the power very well was Daniel Madrano. Now he heads to the line. It's going to be an improvement. 3/10, up 2 positions, quickly down 1, though.
Yeah, I mean, some serious pace being held by some of these drivers. I mean, McIntosh set a 2:02.6, which is insane in these conditions. That's almost good enough for some people's pace on the dry.
Ryan McIntosh flying along here in the 992. Gotta love Porsche with their extremely German names. Now, of course, here in Germany, the home track for this car. That is a very deep line. He's going to struggle to get that power back down. Loses about a tenth through the hairpin. Now heading towards the Schumacher S's. Bit of a hesitation, milking the cow there for a moment as he heads on in. Try to get a bit of a correction. Still up 2/10, managing to hold on for now. Heading into, once again, another chicane. A bit of a longer chicane in the back through Valvoline into Ford as we drop downhill here. Or excuse me, through Vorsteiner. My apologies, through Michelin Vorsteiner. Now on towards Adven Bogen. A few more corners left to go. Ryan McIntosh, can he improve or stay even here? Let's find out. Heading now to the NGK chicane. Get a clobber the inside curb in the wet, and you have to be so careful of that. Bit out of control on exit, managing to counteract it with some oversteer. Now through the final corner onto the throttle. You can see a bit of a correction, but keeping it mostly planted and to the line. It is going to be an improvement. 1/10 up to a 2:02.4.
Amazing. That Porsche's handling really good. I was expecting some of the rear end to step out there on the last corner, especially with the rain, but looks like McIntosh is also going to call it with that great 2:02.4. See if anybody can even come close to that. Looks like Wells and McLaren.
Actually invalidated.
Just entered the pits, yeah.
He invalidated there. Emirates also on an invalid lap. That will be the end of their qualifying. Wait, no, it's not. Emirates is out. Wait a second. Was Emirates out in the... It's a free qualifying, isn't it?
I am
not sure. It's a free qualifying. My apologies. I got that wrong last time. There's no odds or evens this time around. It's everyone for themselves, so they're all good to return to the pits and come out in a little bit.
Now, is the weather looking to change here at any time soon, or for a 20-minute race, I would imagine it's just going to stay wet?
Yeah, we'll see. Heading into the race, the conditions are up in the air. Of course, it'll be on another day. It could even be dry. Now, here in the qualifying, it's looking like it's only going to get soggier and soggier, and I predict we're going to see some drivers pull into the pits and, well, park it because they know at this point that there is really not much room for improvement. Now, that's not anything to the drivers. That is just purely due to the fact that there is more water being dumped down on this track as time goes on. Not seeing too many improvements. Jace Wright, though, in the Samantha Tan BMW, currently up at 1 second already. Just in the first sector alone. Now, this could be a lap for Jace. Jace has proved himself very recently as well to be quite the wet driver, and the Lamborghini especially. He seems extremely dominant. Here in the German machinery tonight in the BMW, what can he put down for a lap time with an inline 6? He can't put any lap time down this time around as he is invalidated.
Just tried to get on the power earlier there. It looks like he slipped a little bit wide. Very, very unfortunate. He's going to be kicking himself for that one because a second of pace here means a significant jump in the standings, which on your first lap into T1 is going to be very, very helpful.
Noticing a very, very common trend here, Bailey, and that is I'm seeing nothing but red laps on the field. Everybody invalidating. Oh, as we see an NSX doing exactly that.
I would be inclined to agree. Now, Heslin and the McLaren is kind of pushing it now. Looks like he's about a third of the way into his lap, and he's riding really, really close to making a change here.
Kyle Heslin severely out of position in the number 22 Hess McLaren. Currently sitting down in P15, 4.5 seconds just over. Also, hello Casey, hello mother. My mom is in chat. Welcome everyone. Hope you're all having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. We're here, of course, at the night. It's midnight here in Nürburgring, Germany. 3.1 mile circuit, 15 corners. These drivers have to tackle it all in these torrential conditions. Now, of course, if you are also looking to tackle some torrential conditions coming up, if you head on over to our SimGrid, link in chat, if you are interested in signing up for our Max Rain at Britain, where we will have way more rain than this bucketing down. So it's going to be extremely fun. We've already had some test servers being run and people struggling to keep in a straight line down the hangar straight. It's going to be an experience of a lifetime. Make sure you guys head on over and sign up for that event.
Sounds like a load of fun. How many cars do we already have on the grid?
Let's take a look here. That's a great question. Looking at the
Love to load that
championship,
up.
we only have 13 signed up now, and it's, of course, over the 21st. We have 1 week from today. So make sure you guys get involved, get it signed up for that. It's going to be the last race that we have, actually, for the holiday season until we head on into next year. So once again, a historic race at that. Max rain at Britain. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Man, take a look at Jace Wright. Looks like he's about to push a second gain here on this lap as he's about to finish it up. Looks like he's over halfway. He's really pushing that Beamer to the limits. Doesn't want to invalidate this one, I can tell you that much.
No, he really doesn't. And as he pushes along, though, one thing I'm noticing is the conditions definitely getting worse because his time, though he was improving by a second last lap, he improved a second in the first sector alone. This time he's dropping now into the NGK chicane. The Delta struggling to hold on. He had a bit of an oversteer on exit with a bit of a correction as well. Now onto the final corner, struggling to lay the hammer down as he heads to the line. It will be an improvement, but how much? It's going to be only 2/10. 6th position, though. Still very respectable there for the number 24.
Absolutely
And it's
amazing.
happened immediately! This is amazing!
Other drivers probably looking to finish up their last set of laps here.
One Bigley,
And,
thank you so much for the $5 donation. Once again, Jacob Church, absolute legend. Thank you so much for your continued support here at Trackalicious, Jacob. You're amazing. Seeing almost no improvements. We're seeing one improvement, though, Kaio. A very solid lap so far. Currently sitting in P14, 4.2 tenths off of pole position. May not quite be looking to there. Of course, pole position was set very early on in the qualifying. A lot less water laid down and a lot more cars on track to displace that water as well.
100%. Looks like he's coming up on some lap traffic here as he finishes up through Coca-Cola. Manages to get through pretty well. No problem there. Gonna gain about a second and 4/10, which is gonna move him up into the top 10. Which is amazing. That's a great improvement from P14.
Especially with the track conditions. It is a very tricky time out on track, I can assure you that. Of course, we've seen a wet Nürburgring in the past. I don't know if anyone remembers the 1978 Grand Prix, 1979 Grand Prix Nürburgring. Of course, that's Formula One, but, you know, I don't remember it. I just know about it.
About to say, Mike, are you 23 years old? Let's
Yes.
having a little bit of a time machine moment there.
But, you know, Nürburgring in the wet. Anything can happen. Well, I guess that wasn't in the wet, was it? That was in the dry. Anyways, we won't pay any mind to that. Nürburgring is a famous track.
Yeah, I mean, Emirates now in P3 looks like he's actually putting together a decent lap, about 4/10 over on his Delta, now back down to 3. Oh, and looks like he just lost it there. Loses the grip because of the wet, doesn't get a favorable line, and that's just, he's going to be kicking himself for that one. Only maybe one more screamer left that he can take.
Also, Bailey, welcome to the commentary team. You've officially commentator cursed somebody. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
In your first qualifying session, managing to make it work. You love to see it.
Drivers, please do not hate me.
Whoa, it didn't work?
Man,
Why didn't it work? Hang on now. It's broken. Oh no! Exclamation mark curse is broken. How did it break? I don't even know how could it... Mike cursed the curse? Oh no! I have cursed the curse. How is that thing broken? It's worked forever. What? It must have been like an update or something. I don't even know. Eric, are you in chat? You made that thing. How do you fix it? I don't even know how you made it. We'll get on that immediately, everyone. The guys in the truck, I promise you, are working that.
I must say, I gotta give a round of applause to these drivers. They've really tightened up some lap times in some very, very bad conditions. What was looking like it's gonna be a crazy spread out race is looking like a lot of the drivers have started to find their groove, and now a lot of the times are down to just a mere tenths and a couple of hundredths away from each other, which is great. You always love to see that.
Yeah, currently on track, Kamal Kiatazovic as well as Potts Weaver currently within 5 milliseconds of each other. Very tight margins there between those two drivers. Now, of
Hopefully
course,
they can keep it up during the race, because I would love to see a 2-wide action on an entire lap in Nürburgring. That would be something.
I definitely wouldn't take it away from either of these drivers. It's very possible. Both Pottsweaver, especially Pottsweaver, I would say, has made some massive improvements lately and become a very talented driver, managing to stick himself up into the top 10 multiple times now. Currently, the wet conditions not quite favoring him. As well, Kamal Kitazovic in the Crazy Rabbits Racing, a driver that we haven't seen too much as of late. He was with us for a while doing some endurance races, kind of took a step away, and he's back, though. Chemo, I don't know what his Twitch is. Somebody in chat can remind me of what his Twitch is. It might just be Chemo Smith. I think Chemo Smith on Twitch, something like that, over in ACC. I'm sure he's streaming this race right now. Oh, John Hawley in the Skippy Super Chunky Racing. Peanut butter, of course. Chunky peanut butter being the superior peanut butter. Not sure what your opinion there is on that, Bailey, but John Hawley. Oh, he put it back. Ladies and gentlemen, John Hawley is an absolute legend. Look at, this is the man. He listens. He listens, everybody. Now, extra crunchy peanut butter is the superior peanut butter from Mike Nause.
Didn't want to read your nickname there, did you?
That's all right. We'll leave that one to be interpreted. What a great livery.
I'm not enough of a peanut butter connoisseur to disagree or agree with you there, Mike.
That's a shame.
I'm more of a cold cuts kind of guy.
You know, that's fair enough. But that is a bit of a shame, Bailey. I'm not going to lie. As you don't need to put it on a sandwich. You can always just eat it out of a spoon. Oh, lots of curb being taken there for the number 12. Keeping it valid, though.
He's coming up. How's he looking? 3/10 behind.
Not
he's
great.
Not gonna be able to make
Yeah,
that up. Yeah,
he's just... It's a bit of a flourish to the end. And the 360, you can see traction, very minimal. John Hawley, the last car, comes to the line, and we are underway into the race session. As the cameramen now have to change their filters once again, the camera filters, of course, being frequently modified. We'd love to see it.
So watch out for slippery curves and remember to brake earlier.
The observer being very, very keen on his eye, saying that it is wet out there. Make sure you brake early. And, well, keep an eye out for some other drivers. Some very good advice there from the in-game robot. Thank you so much. We are, though, going to get in here and meet our drivers. As we have it, starting off here in P1, Ryan McIntosh, the number 15 UWU Porsche 992. Lined up next to him on the front row, it's going to be Jake Wells in the I Suck at This Evo White, the number 8 McLaren Evo 2, with Emirates behind in the Emirates Stardust from the UAE. The number in P3, the number 1 driver, Darren Thomas in the Warm Soup Merry Christmas. In P4, the Aston Martin with a strong result here in the qualifying. Professor Chronotis as well in P5, a great result. The number 42 car with Jace Wright Company in P6 in the Samantha Tan BMW. Carlos Guzman in P7. Unfortunately, no livery for him. We have Daniel Madrano behind in P8. The number 6 Rockefeller Racing McLaren Evo 2. Yeah, that is a McLaren Evo 2. Jose Guzman in the Honda NSX. The number 129 with Kai Yo Company rounding out our top 10. The number 3 McLaren. Christopher McNichol is going to be 11th quickest in the Scrubs Go Racing AMG number 32. John Hawley in the Skippy Superchunk Racing in P12. Kamal Kitazovic, 13th quickest in the Crazy Rabbits Racing BMW with Pottsweaver Company in 14th. Devin Anthony, 15th quickest in the Rockefeller Racing McLaren 664. Casey Swanseeger in the Noobs R Us number 84 with Matt Melanson Company in P17. Kyle Heslin, 18th quickest in the Hess McLaren, the number 22, with Reggie King in the Nutgrams Lexus Nutella inspired livery. Alex Freeman in P20, the number 14 driver with Jacob Church in P21 in the one Bigly. And last but not least in the Noobs R Us, David Alicea, the number 88 Puerto Rican driver, bringing up the back of the grid. We have 22 drivers on the field here tonight as the cars get ready to get started and underway We can begin here. This is going to be a 3.1 mile out lap with 15 corners, 6 to the left, 9 to the right, with 20 minutes of racing ahead of you. No pit stops required. It's going to be a sprint race down to the very end. And what's going to happen after that? I'll do a little bit more talking before I shut up. I promise. What's going to happen after that? It is going to be, of course, the race where the results of the first race will be flipped on their head, and you will be starting in the opposite order of where you finished in the first race. So if you finish P1, you'd be starting P last. If you started P last, you'd be starting P1, so on and so forth. But here we go, Bailey, the outlap beginning.
Yeah, and already a little bit of a struggle there. Lucky that no contact is enabled, otherwise I would imagine we would already have some collisions as drivers try to get the accelerator up so they can get their brakes heating.
That's a really good point there, Bailey.
Yeah.
The brakes are going to be very crucial. We're going to see these drivers weaving all over, getting heat into their tires and into those brakes as the Nürburgring. Of course, you have a long run down to the first corner, and it's a heavy braking zone. So getting your core temperatures up in your tires is going to be absolutely crucial. Also, Sharpenberry joining us. We have Rubik joining us. Also, David. Welcome, everybody. Getting ready for race 1 of 2 tonight. The Nürburgring, or as a fellow commentator, John Wright, would say, Nürburgring. That's my Scottish impersonation. Shout out to you, John. He's probably not watching.
That's amazing.
I know, right? You couldn't even tell I was American for a moment. Now that my throat is actually just destroyed, though, that was pretty brutal.
Might need to grab yourself some water after that.
Yes, a little hydrate.
Man, especially with these longer laps, these out laps can take a very, very long time.
You know they can, but that's a great time to talk about our calendar. Well, that's a great segue. As we have, of course, coming up, this is the rest of our events that we have for the year. It's very, very, well, low. We're running out of events here this year. The year is running out of days. I hope everyone's going to have a happy holiday season as well. We have our Porsche Cup Championship coming to an end, as well as our GT3. That's going to be at the Mount Panorama, Bathurst, for the GT3 and Porsche Cup Championship on Sunday. Sign-ups are still available, of course, if you are interested in joining any of these. Link is in the chat. Also, Max Rain at the Britain. Now, that event is not that's mandatory. You have to sign up for it. If you are a sim racer in ACC, Max Rain at Britain on the 21st, if you're available, definitely be there. It's going to be so much fun. Of course, we also have our GT4 Rookie Series. That's going to be over at Kyalami on the 18th. That's a series you can join whenever. It's always encouraged. There's no points on the line. Doesn't matter. Just get in there and have some fun. Of course, with our GT4 Open Series as well. We have our GT3 Reverse Grid on top of that. That's what we're watching here today. This is the grand finals that we're watching. And we are going to see the championship be decided as we have also our Patrons. There we go. That's the button. Patrons being pulled up as well. Thank you so much to all of these wonderful names on screen, especially to the V12 Exotics and the V8 Muscles and Inline 4. Thank you all so much for participating in that. And thank you to anyone in the future that does as well. You guys are all amazing. As we head back into the session, we can see these cars coming around the final corner now, lining up. Oh my goodness, that was too long.
That was perfect timing.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. The drivers 2x2, Noah's Ark formation as they come around the Coca-Cola curve. Ryan McIntosh on pole position, Jake Wells in P2. About ready to go green as we head down. Green now, down to the first corner. It's going to be a smashing start immediately for Ryan McIntosh. Jake Wells on the outside. Can he contest? It's going to be a long drag race down for him. A heavy braking zone now. The Samantha Tan BMW a little bit late. The McLaren's behind, diving down the inside. We're 3 wide. There's some bumping and banging. Jace Wright making contact there with Darren Thomas. Darren forced off the track as he rejoins. Going to be Professor Chronotis. A little bit wiggle there on to the outside of the AMG sector. Drive-through penalty as well. Picked up for Kaio. So far, though, Daniel Madrano, Darren Thomas also able to just lose one position after that incident on the first corner. Definitely a decent start at best for him. Unfortunate, but managing to make do. Bit of a wiggle there for the McLaren. John Hawley almost losing it. So close. He managed to catch that. Kamal Kietzowicz having a look onto the inside. Now this, Bailey, is exactly what you wanted. Side-by-side action from these two drivers.
Absolutely, here we go, and it looks like they're going to be trading as the corners kind of alternate from right to left. The McLaren obviously going to have the pace to separate himself from the Beamer now that they're onto more of a straight, and he will secure that position. Great job from the drivers. A little bit of sliding and bumping, but everybody manages to keep it pretty much on track, and looks like we're off to the races here now.
And good defense there from John, managing to hold off from Kamal for the moment. They're continuing on, though. We have Daniel Madrano behind, or ahead, excuse me, making a look onto Darren Thomas. Darren gonna have a little bit of damage onto that Aston Martin. Should be, all in all, okay. As they head on through, though, will that add up later? Of course, in these wet conditions, the other thing is, this is gonna be tire pressure now. Oh my goodness, what has happened there? That's Jose Guzman in the Honda NSX. Can't even find him. Was there contact that ended him up here?
I'm not sure. I think, honestly, he might have come out of that corner and just sent himself into the wall.
We have a replay of it right here.
Yeah, he just loses grip in that NSX like a tank slapper and manages to keep it from hitting the wall too bad. Definitely going to have a decent amount of damage. These GT3s are built like plastic, so going to be interesting to see how much time he loses because of that.
As we come across the line on the first lap, Ryan McIntosh leading us away with Emirates behind, taking the position from Jake Wells early on. Jake, though, holding on. Is it going to be by a thread, or does he have a firm grip there into that P2? As Emirates seemingly strong so far in terms of lap times don't really matter, obviously, on the first lap. Jace Wright, we have behind as well. How did Jace manage to make up 2 positions? Had a very poor start, barreling into the first corner, had a little bit of contact with Snoopy, I think, behind, or Darren Thomas Snoopy. Darren Thomas in here. And able to recover, but Daniel Madrano all over the back, though, of Darren Thomas.
Yeah, he was eyeing that outside line, but I think he thought really, really quickly that that was not going to work out for him in these conditions. So he tucks back in, and that Aston Martin is going to have some great top speed. I'm not sure after the BOP if, you know, this applies here, how much quicker the Aston is compared to the McLaren, but wise decision there to just tuck in and bide his time here as people are waiting for each other to make mistakes.
And we have a full on-board lap redeemed by Heckin Shoots 96. Is it number 2 or P2?
I can't see it, but I would imagine P2.
Yeah, there is no number 2. I just want to confirm. I mean, there is no number 2, so that's why I want to make sure. This is Jake Wells, though, all over the back of P2 currently, the Emirates. Oh, huge send late onto the brakes. Jake Wells into the back of Emirates. Definitely a mistake there.
That was not going to be the cleanest pass attempt there. Emirates will be glad to maintain that position. Hopefully not too much damage, and now these two are going to resume their fight. Looks like we are on board Emirates. Yeah, taking it down into T1.
Looking for the braking marker off to the side very early at the 100 board. Now, that might have been what caught Jake Wells out. It might have been a little bit of an earlier braking zone than expected, but nonetheless, Jake responsible to get his car slowed down. Now through the arena sector, Jake a bit further behind, able to continue on for now. Emirates needs to keep his head down. A bit of a wiggle from the steering wheel. Of course, that's just due to these conditions. You can see the conditions, though, a dry line forming most definitely. Now, it's about how these drivers prepared their tires and prepared their setup. I would imagine everyone running a wetter setup, maybe not a full wet setup, but, you know, compromising the suspension a little bit, making it just a little bit more loose and able to feel, well, feel a little bit less, as you want. Not quite as rigid. Am I right there? You know your stuff on this, Bailey.
Yeah, you're definitely more correct on that. These drivers are taking a more conservative approach. You're not going to be booking it on on the outside line trying to pass somebody. So you're looking to just kind of keep yourself tidy, make sure you're hitting all of your braking zones properly, and that way, if a dry line does form up, your tire pressures are good to go. Ooh, speaking of control, Emirates hanging on there for dear life. A little bit of a brown flag moment for him. He's going to keep it in, going up, and that's just going to open the door here, coming into the next turn. A little bit of contact, door rubbing. Oh, man, look at the damage on the side of that McLaren.
Now, I actually want to go back and watch that one from a third-person perspective. Okay, wow, huge save there first off. Incredible job from Emirates. So that's going to be a massive loss of momentum. Jake Wells having the run. Was there a squeeze? There's definitely room for 2 cars there. I think Jake coming over a little bit. Flash of the headlights from Jake. I'm not sure Jake realized that he had a little bit more outside of the track there than he, I mean, yeah, he had a bit more room there. He definitely, Emirates, I think, leaving enough space.
Yeah, I would agree. He should probably take a little bit more of an outside approach there, as they're both going to kind of want to lean to the outside line, especially with that turn to the left. So a little bit of a squeeze, but nothing too shabby coming to that. Both of them retain their position and looking to continue this battle here.
Wow.
Actually, Emirates did fall. Here. I apologize.
Ryan McIntosh just set the fastest lap, and he has set the fastest lap by 2 seconds. 2.8 seconds, roughly. He has set the fastest lap. Ryan McIntosh is on another planet here tonight.
That's an extra 2 seconds quicker than his qualifying time, so he must be loving that Porsche. That Porsche must be tuned to everything. Let's see if he can lap somebody here in the time that this race finishes.
As he is currently heading now on down towards the hairpin. Going to be trying to crest around that nicely. Able to a little bit of a wiggle. I'm not sure if that might have been a little latency. I think he was all good. Of course, these wet conditions, it's so hard to tell any sort of movement. As they're heading now.
Yeah,
oh, good.
No, yeah, to add to your point on movement, I mean, another thing with, you know, Wells driving behind Emirates trying to keep it tidy is Emirates' ping might be a little bit high, so who knows where his car is actually going to be in relation to what you can see. Credit to both of those drivers driving very, very well at this point.
Heckin' shoots a big spender today. Another 1,000 channel points being dropped down on a lap from Emirates again. Massive Emirates fan.
This will be good too, because these two are having probably the most important battle on track right now in P2 and P3.
You know, you say that, but we also have this battle between John Hawley, Professor Conotis, and Carlos Guzman. Carlos Guzman being the lead car in that pack. I definitely want to give a little screen time to them. At, you know, we'll give them here. We'll give them a lap. We'll hit that onboard lap on the next one.
Sounds good. As they exit Coca-Cola, looks like the McLaren's going to have a decent run on the Aston. See how the slipstream plays a part. Might need to use a little bit of peanut butter on those brakes there as he comes up here.
What?
Yeah, you know, get him a little sticky. Good to go. Whoa! That Ferrari having a massive, massive moment coming into T1.
Man, it's got a little peanut butter on his brakes. That'd be, oil them up. I think that would hinder your braking performance. But I don't know. Maybe the extra crunchy peanuts would add a little abrasion.
Yeah, you're an extra crunchy peanut butter guy, so definitely not going to be the smoother lubricant kind of peanut. I can't believe I just said that. Oh man. Alright, so moving on now. These drivers are starting to separate and head over to Medrano, it looks like.
P6 battle for P5. Save you on that one. Darren Thomas and the Merry Christmas livery. Why don't we take a look at this one? I know it's a heated battle behind, and there's basically all-out war, but as we come around this final corner, when the elevation levels out, we'll go for it. My camera will get all wonky. There we go. Like nice little Santa's sled there. Jesus is the reason.
You gotta appreciate these gradient liveries. I mean, they really add a lot of detail to the car.
Oh,
that thing just shines away from the pack.
All right, great. You've just sealed yourself a position for a while now. Eric Gakassian just fell in love with you. Oh, but here's the move, though, from Daniel Madrano down the inside of Darren Thomas, heading on to the back, not so straight, side by side, down towards Advan Bogan. Looks like it's going to be the advantage to Darren Thomas as they reach the corner entry here of the NGK, and one of these drivers is going to have to yield as two does not go into one, but no!
Oh, they're going to try it, the McLaren. Oh my goodness, he manages to stick that move. That is some ballsy and impressive driving from Madrano there in the McLaren. But he goes a little bit too wide into the Coca-Cola turn, and looks like the Aston Martin's going to have the inside line for T1.
A drag race down Aston Martin versus McLaren Power. Both British manufacturers. Who has the advantage? It seems like the brakes there. Much more confident for Daniel Madrano, but that's going to be his confidence, your downfall, as Daniel Madrano misses his braking marker, hands Darren Thomas the place.
Yeah, he really just sent that McLaren into another galaxy, and Thomas has got to just be, you know, thanking him as he drives by, looking out that left side mirror. as he sees that McLaren go so wide in the T1. Now he's got a decent gap to look with, and hopefully he can put that position away. Oh my, look at McIntosh with a 159.8. That is
He's gone.
insane. He's never being caught. There's no way. Surely.
So we'll pick up with that full onboard lap this time, or well, next time around. We'll do that. We'll stick here with Professor Chronotis, though, and John Hawley. Again, these cars closed back up. McLaren Evo 2 currently is in a sandwich. Very fitting for the Skippy Peanut Butter extra chunky livery.
Yeah, you know, for all we know, that might be where he wants to stay. He's got plenty of room there, but it looks like the... Is that a McLaren behind him that is just saying, I don't want to be on the bottom bun, and he's just trying to take that position? Ferrari of Chronotis, that is correct.
Oh, John Hawley.
Slidey.
Back end steps out. He manages to hold on. Chronotis with some damage on the side there. Not going to help the performance. Shouldn't hurt too much, especially in these wet conditions. As we come around, though, the final... Oh, man, it's going to be tough. We're going to watch this overtake happen first. I think Chronotis has the look at the very least. He's going to be looking for the braking zone. But no, he's too early. John Hawley, as he sent it too deep, manages to keep it under control. Now back up with Emirates in the front. Currently, 1 second behind. Gaining massively under braking there. But is that too much? No, seems to be fairly controlled. Able to be much more confident. Similar machinery, or same machinery for Emirates. Bit of a wiggle there through the arena sector. I'd imagine these tires are starting to warm up a little bit.
Absolutely. How is the dry line looking? Is it completely formed yet at this point? I know we only have 7 minutes left of the race, but that could really help for some of these drivers as they look to keep their positions.
Actually fairly wet out there still. I don't see a dry line forming. It was there for a while, but it looks like maybe, let's see here. The conditions are lightening up slightly.
Yeah, the drivers must be feeling that too. Another 159 set by Jake Wells, so drivers are now starting to close that gap.
Jake Wells doing a great job of holding on as well. He's shown his improvement lately, and it's been just dominant. I mean, Jake Wells, back when he first started racing with Trackalicious, let's just say he was not quite as quick as he is now. Now an LFM driver, oh goodness, let's not curse him. The curse thing is broken. We can't curse anybody this stream.
I was gonna say, Mike, you might want to pump the brakes here. Starting the slide, but he's gonna maintain that position. Emirates is really looking to put some pressure here.
Oh my, hold on. What has happened here? Jacob Church and Potts Weaver have had it coming together.
In here.
Let's see what happened. There's definitely contact. That's going to be the Carlos Guzman behind in the Honda NSX, or Jose Guzman. Jose Guzman, excuse me. Oh, John Hawley, though. Jose not involved whatsoever. Excuse me, I just threw John Hawley under the bus. Potts Weaver definitely missing the braking mark there and head right into the back of Jacob Church.
It's great sportsmanship, though. He recognizes his mistake immediately and says, sorry about that, man. I know we just let that guy pass both of us, but you can hold that position. So now they're going to finish up the race here. Let's see if he can catch back up to that Lexus. How is the Lexus, Mike? I haven't actually seen many drivers use it.
Yeah, it's probably a good reason for that. It's not great, Bob. It's all right, you know, it's quick. In fact, we can take a look over at pit wall. Let's see. In fact, it's the quickest car on the track currently in a straight line. The 111 of Reggie King in the Lexus, 248 kph in a straight line compared to Kamal Kietzzovic in the BMW at 247.
It must be great in the straights, but that means that its handling through these corners, especially with the wet, must not be very great. Kind of like the Beamer, as we can see. Although it looks like Jake Wright has got that thing under control. They're in 4th place. Battle between Chronotis and Hawley. McLaren should have more top speed, if I'm not mistaken, as opposed to the Ferrari.
Oh yeah. McLaren is a rocket ship. The Ferrari, of course, not any slouch either, but the McLaren, I think everybody that is in the quicker community, they know that the McLaren very quick, especially on some tracks. I will say, not all tracks, but I know on Spa in particular. I'm not sure on Nürburgring. Whoa, John Hawley, a bit out of shape there, but managing to hold on to it. And that's pretty much been the story of John Hawley's life, it seems, for the past 7 laps.
Hey, It's not how you get there. It's when you get there, as far as these races are concerned.
Oh!
Ooh, huge moment!
Chrono, though, thought that was a great idea and decided to do the exact same thing.
Hey, they're buds. What can they say?
As they follow along. I did not give Oh, no, there's another incident involving here. This is Jose Guzman with a return to garage. What's happened? So that position that was handed to to Jose earlier, Jacob has managed to take back, and so has Potts, as a result thereof, it looks like a bit of a heavy right foot.
Yeah, and that is the third time that Honda's done that, and after the wall slap, he's probably just thinking, alright, I'm way down here, I'm just going to retire the thing. Avoid any mental frustration that will come in the next 3 minutes. Which might be smart, you know, who knows, maybe the next race with the reverse grid, he'll be able to pull away with some good points. Ooh, inside move coming up from Potts Weaver.
Made it look like he was in another class. Jacob Church on the downturn. That Lexus is supposed to be quick in a straight line. Wait, there's 2 Lexus here tonight?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
It's Church and King, right? If I'm seeing that correctly on my tiny little
yeah, Reggie King.
Here.
Reggie King currently sitting in P15 with the Nutella and graham cracker inspired livery. What is this? It's a great,
It must be like
it's great, but what is it?
It must be one of those little like cup snacks that, you know, they send with kids. So you get like the crackers on one side and the Nutella on the other side. You can open up both and then dip the crackers into the Nutella.
That's
maybe
brilliant.
That's the idea of what he's going for there. Or who knows, maybe he just said, I like graham crackers and Nutella, and decided to go half and half.
Considering it says Nutella and go, I would imagine you are in fact correct. I think that was a good guess. But
yeah, you know, I was in high school very recently, so I know my kiddie snacks there, no problem.
So far, though, nicely done from Reggie. Reggie has been a driver very good when he's good. Of course, he hasn't had too much practice that I know of in terms of ACC at the very least as of late. Of course, he could have been not in Trackalicious, but you know, Reggie, I think he's coming back recently. But an awesome livery that he's brought to the table here tonight. I keep stealing the full onboard lap away from Emirates. I apologize. There's absolutely action everywhere. Well, we've gotten close to an onboard of time. I'm just trying to, you know, space it out. Seems though, Emirates, one thing I'm noticing here, Bailey, Emirates not able to really put any sort of severe pressure onto Jake Wells and force him into any sort of mistakes.
No, Jake Wells has been keeping his lines tidy, and after he got that position from Emirates, he has just been holding on and building a small gap. Now, obviously, both drivers in the McLaren, and as the track here looks like it's been, oh, as I say that, looks like that McLaren was sliding a little bit, but as the track starts to clean up and get a little bit more dry, it looks like these drivers have started to polish up and not make as many mistakes. So Emirates is kind of just counting his lucky stones there as he sends it into the corner, hoping to get a good run. Wells able to keep it tidy, not too much slip, so he's going to keep that position and not allow very much of a run from Emirates to happen. Taking a little bit of curb here, always scary when you're driving a flatter car like the McLaren. And they send it up here to, which car is this? Apologies.
Valvoline.
Oh, having a little bit of a moment. And that's going to allow Emirates to kind of close the gap. Now, will he try to make a move up by the chicane?
It's Werksteiner, I was wrong.
So both these drivers hit their braking zones properly. Looks like he was honestly thinking about a move up the inside, which would have been a very ambitious call.
Leaders finished the race? Hang
Leaders
on
finished
now.
the race. Perfect timing for McIntosh. As he sends that Porsche off.
As
and
we
now
hit.
these McLarens coming up. Emirates just not going to have the run, so it will be P2 for Wells, P3 for Emirates.
That race flew by. That was insane. That did not feel like 20 minutes. I thought we had another 10 minutes to go. That was insane. Okay. Well, we've already finished race 1, everybody.
Yeah, I did think we were going to get another lap there, but it looks like the timing just worked out perfectly for McIntosh to end the race right on schedule. So these drivers will finish up their laps, and great race from McIntosh. Didn't even have to worry about him. He was long gone from the back.
And David in chat, not too happy with his race, unfortunately. Hopefully he can manage to make it up in the next one. Snoopy saying, are you kidding? It took forever. Yeah, I bet it did, Darren. You had a nice little heated battle in both directions there for a while, as well as your red tires, it seems. My goodness. Also, thank you so much to Zorkris for the follow. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Hope everyone's enjoying.
That was a fun race. Definitely a lot cleaner than I thought it was going to be. Only had one car with tires, so these drivers did a heck of a job.
Now, of course, this is only race. Also, Josie Koo in chat. I missed that earlier. Apologies, Josie. I didn't see you. My bad. Yeah, so heading into race 2, what's about to happen, everyone? Well, Ryan McIntosh, who finished in first position, Jake Wells, who finished in second, and Emirates, who finished in third, they're all going to be flipped to the back of the grid, where we are going to be seeing Potts Weaver start in P1, followed up by Jacob Church in P2, and Alex Freeman in third. So it's going to get spicy, 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 everybody. Now, if these conditions transfer over...
Oh, boy.
Oh, my, oh, my.
Oh, no.
We're going to head back to the booth, though. Welcome back, everybody. As, yeah, it's raining. It's raining behind me, as you can see. Redemption there from one bigly Jacob Church. Cheers. As we have it, though, of course, we have about 9 minutes of free practice. Do you know what that means, everybody? A little bit of Stream Racer. We're going to get that all loaded up and running, and then get everyone involved, of course, for some chat. Yes, hello, Mom. Thank you. Welcome. Way to go, racers. It was a great race, I got to say. Some great racing as well. Like I say, 22 drivers starting. I think we had 20 finish, which is quite good. Heading on into race 2, though, this is where we're going to see the carnage unfold, if there is going to be any, and especially in these conditions, these treacherous and very hard to navigate conditions. We're going to see these drivers really struggle, Bailey.
I would definitely agree with you, and it's going to be fun to see McIntosh with all that pace that he has, and I mean the amount of control that he had in the wet, too. It's going to be fun to see him try to navigate from the back of the pack. Should create some awesome battles to watch.
And as we have it, the Stream Racer is up. Exclamation mark race, everybody, if you guys want to get involved in a second. Hang on. It's doing the thing again where it might not load. I shouldn't have preempted. Why is it doing this lately? It seems like it's never done this before. Anyways, hopefully it'll be up in a minute. We have plenty of time, of course, before the session rolls over. Now we can take a look in the meantime at our championship standings. We look at them here. We can see Ryan McIntosh leading the championship at 399 points. Now, I'm pretty sure, Bailey, that mathematically secures him for the championship lead after that win.
Yeah, I mean, P2 I don't think was anywhere near in that race, so another P1 for another 105 points is going to set him way ahead of the pack, and I would imagine this next race he's just going to pick up even more positions, so... Definitely not looking to lose that position anytime soon.
I might have said that a little preemptively, actually. I apologize, because you're right. Now, actually, Jake Wells finished in P2, but that's still quite the gap, even with that, as we have 6 points difference, 105 going to P1. So mathematically, if Ryan McIntosh actually has a bad race, he needs a pretty bad race at that. Pretty much needs to come across the line, I think in like the top 5 or maybe even top 10, and he should be all right to secure himself. But Jake, though, creeping up behind Ali Raza, unfortunately, has eliminated himself from the championship. Actually, has he? As he has a drop round, a 9th and a 6th. Now, that's going to spice some things up. Of course, there is a drop round, everybody, so your worst result will be taken off the cards. And that'll spice things up in the championship for sure, because Ryan McIntosh is going to be absolutely smashing it in points compared to Jake after that, I think, but I'm not sure. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Wait, how's that?
Yeah,
Anyways,
we are not mathematicians, folks.
No,
we must preempt.
You can always check SimGrid afterwards. That'd be my recommendation, everyone. So, because the math here is clearly not quite easy. We have managed to get into the session. Exclamation mark race. If everyone wants to get involved, we're gonna head on down. We're down here for Stream Racer, exclamation mark race in chat. Now, what is this, everybody? I know there's a lot of people in chat asking, what the heck are we about to participate in here? Well, this is Stream Racer. This is where we have chat racing against chat. And you have to do absolutely nothing but sit back and enjoy. You can also type !boost to make your car go very, very quickly in a straight line. But that's about all that's good for. If you're heading down towards a corner, would not recommend. It's a very, very dangerous tell, I guess. I wouldn't recommend it. I see we have Shane Chass joining us, Jake Wells joining us, one bigly. We also have Jace Wright. Me, Darren Thomas, Snoopy, and John Hawley. We got 9 drivers in here. !race. Billy Bot joining us. Carlos Guzman. 1 minute on the clock, everybody, to get involved with Stream Racer. Now, if you're involved in Jake's stream, if Jake is watching the stream, I don't know if he is or not. We got Doc Milwee in here. Let's go. Holy smokes indeed. Carlos Guzman dropping a tier 1 sub for 1 entire year. Started back in December, now back here in December again. Thank you so much, Carlos. Absolute legend. 28 seconds on the clock. !race.
Yeah, guys, this is your chance to take a win. I don't believe Steven is here, so no Shuey in the cards, and should be an open track for P1.
Yeah, that's been a bit of a habit that goes on. You gotta love Steven. He is, you gotta love him. Helltrek also joining us. Welcome. Welcome, one and all. And
now, a little bit of friendly advice for our drivers. There is an ! boost. Now, there is a cooldown on using this. However, if you manage to find yourself on a straight, feel free to use it. It will send your car flying.
Sometimes quite literally. Billy Bot started on pole position, off to a smashing start. John Hawley coming up behind with Doc Milwee in third. As they head on over the jump, Billy Bot catching some good air. Oh my goodness, Carlos Guzman taking off to the stratosphere. He's gone, everybody. Carlos is gone. It's been a terrible landing from everybody down below. Billy Bot stranded onto the edge. No more race lead for him. Helltrek has taken it firmly as we head on down. One Bigly now in P2. Behind him, Doc Milwee still in third as he comes around the corner. The hairpin here. The Louvie Games hairpin. Through the grandstands, the crowd on its feet. Doc Milwee clipping a tire and almost going off the track. That's a boost from John Hawley. He clips the barrier.
Goodbye, John Hawley.
Oh, Billy Bot managing to make it through the corner. Where the heck am I? I haven't even seen myself. I'm gone. Let's take a look at the front. One Bigly leading this race as Helltrek has picked up a cone for some ballast, unfortunately. One Bigly now heading through the sweep around the volcano. You don't say that often in sim racing or in racing in general, to be completely fair. What the heck is that? Some grass growing through the track. Now, how does that happen in real life, everybody? How does grass grow through tarmac? Let's maybe not the time for that conversation. Helltrek still being the nice guy that he is, bulldozing the cone along. Oh, Doc Milwee gets clattered. He's going to need to trade insurance with Shane Chass, no doubt, as it's a massive car pile up here. Jake Wells.
Oh, it must be a street track.
Jake Wells went straight into the barrier, literally flat out, not even hesitating. Up in the front, one Bigly over the jump. Now he's coming down the start for the track. Is he going to land this? Oh my goodness, he lands it, but it's off the track. I got to give that a solid 4. It didn't land on the track. It's pretty harsh, I know, but unfortunate. One Bigly is in the lead of this by about a mile and has no competition as he is going to come to the line here about 2 football fields ahead of Shane Chass. Shane Chass currently coming across the jump now, repeating what one Bigly did. Not quite as good of a landing and off the track. Billy Bot following suit. Looks like Carlos Guzman, who was in the stratosphere.
Goodness.
Carlos Guzman.
His moon landing.
He is going to manage to take P2 here as he has come back from orbit, managing to land properly, takes a podium. Carlos Guzman, incredible result. Helltrek off the track at the end, unfortunately going to lose that to Shane Chass for a podium. Sneaks onto their Billy Bot for P4 behind that Helltrek. Can he take P5? Ooh. Yes, he can. I sneak ahead of Jake Wells. I'm better than Jake Wells, everybody. Let's go. Just by a little bit, though, not by much. Jace Wright to the line in P9 with John Hawley behind in 10th. What a terrible effort there from Jace on that jump. And last but not least, Darren Thomas Snoopy. Oh my goodness. Moon strats equal OP, says Carlos.
Yeah, he hit the Team Rocket, came back, and managed to take a podium, which is absolutely insane. I didn't expect to see his car at all for the rest of the race, but there he was.
I actually just thought he was gone, to be completely honest. I just didn't think he was coming back, but no, he came back with a vengeance and took the pole position. We're going to head back to the booth, everybody, but soak that in there. One Bigley taking the win. We have Carlos Guzman in second and Shane Chass in third. Shane with a beginner's luck podium as well. But no, I love it. Awesome. I absolutely love this. You guys are great, so thank you all so much. We're going to get on into the other server. Hopefully qualifying is underway by now.
No, I believe we still have 2 minutes of free practice as of what I'm looking at.
Sounds good. It's not too bad. Shane, welcome, welcome. Billy, also, like I say, great job, everyone. Incredible effort from everyone in chat. It's the beauty of the stream racer. No effort, all the results, and you're only as good as your last race. So we'll leave it at that.
Or in Steven's case, he's only as good as when he shows up. P1 every time.
That is true. I mean, he has absolutely been mopping up lately. Steven, the Syntho... No, not Syntho Drive. I saw it in chat. Sorry. The stream... I've said that like 20 times, too.
Mike, let's not get started on the Syntho Drive again.
Well, of course,
we had this conversation on Monday.
We have Season 2 of Syntho Drive coming up, everybody, so definitely check out the Discord for that. I'll post a link there over in the Wednesday Syntho Drive channel if you are interested. I should sign up. We'll see. We'll see. I've thought about it, but... we'll see if I will or won't. It depends. If there's enough demand from other people, then I'm not going to sign up. I'd rather have somebody else take my spot than be in it. So,
I mean, I'm with the people. I think you should join, Mike. Absolutely.
if there's a spot, I'll join. But I'm not banking on there being a spot. Syntho Drive Season 1 was an absolute smashing success. Thank you so much to Josie Koo for putting that on. It's so much fun. So moving on into Season 2, like I say, no promises for anything heading on into it, but we'll see. We'll see. And Carlos...
practice wrapping up here.
Carlos...
sorry, go ahead.
Also submitting his application to be a TP as well. You love to see that. Team principal. Of course, there's team principals and drivers over for Syntho Drive. Syntho Drive being an AI racing series where you don't do much of anything, to be honest. You just watch and enjoy. And once sort of similar to what you just saw before. So if you enjoyed a little bit of Stream Racer, well, you're definitely going to enjoy Syntho Drive. This, though, moving on into it, we're not going to have any qualifying. We're going to roll straight on into the grid here. This is the reverse grid coming up. And we're about to see everything get flipped on its head here.
Yeah, and more rain dumped onto the track, so we're not going to have that emerging dry line that the drivers were experiencing at the end of that race, so it's going to be very interesting T1.
As the drivers managed to make it last time, to be fair. So let's see, though. I want to see that free practice rain that we saw. That's what I want to see, the torrential flooded downpour. The drivers having to really test their skills and hone in to another level of driving. Also, I love that emote, by the way, Shane. I'm not sure who that is, but I love it.
Oh, I see.
It's almost as good as my emote of me. Almost. Not quite, though. Because, of course, if you do subscribe to TRACKILICIOUS, you get access to all of these amazing emotes that we have, and in particular, like I said, the TRACKILICIOUS Shocked emote. It's quite a good one. One Bigley. There you go. Posting it in chat. You love to see it. You didn't know there was a flooded track status, John Hawley? Yes, it's not what we're seeing here. It looks like the rain going to start off fairly strong and increase. So it is going to be more rain on the track for these drivers. Tough conditions ahead for the 21. As we get in here, let's meet our drivers. As we have here starting off in P1, it is going to be Potts Weaver in the Santa Baby number 130. The Trackalicious Christmas livery. You love to see that. Great job there from Potts Weaver. Jacob Church in P2. And the one bigly, the 253. Starting off there with a lovely Club Penguin on the front as well. Alex Freeman in third in the McLaren in the number 14. Kyle Heslin in the Hess, going to be P4, with Kai Yo in fifth. Now, of course, these are opposite positions from where they finished in the previous race. Keep that in mind, everybody. Reggie King starting off in P6 in the Lexus, the 111, with Casey Swanseeger in P7 in the Porsche 992. Matt Melanson, 8th quickest in the number 77 with Devin Anthony in P9, the 664. Chris McNichol, P10 for the number 32 with Kamal Katazovic in 11th. The two sister not a sister car, never mind, they're just similar colors. John Hawley in the Skippy Superchunk Racing 410 in P12, the Superior Peanut Butter, with Professor Cronotis Company in 13th. Carlos Guzman, 14th quickest with Danny Madrano in P15, the number 6 McLaren. We have Darren Thomas in the Warm Soup Merry Christmas, 16th overall in the number 613. Chase Wright in P17, the number 24 Samantha Tan Racing BMW with Emirates in P18, the number 1 UAE driver. Jake Wells, P19, the number 8 McLaren Evo 2. Started from the back, starting from close to the back, where will he end up? Ryan McIntosh with just a beyond dominant drive last race, lapping over a second quicker consistently every single lap than the rest of the field. Starts off in the back of the grid here in P20, but I will be certainly excited to see where he finishes. Last but not least will be David Alicea, not putting in, unfortunately, enough laps to qualify. I think 70% rule. And so starting off in the very back, the number 88, Noobs Are Us, Puerto Rican driver of David Alicea. Cars starting up and getting ready to get underway here for the 3.1 mile outlap ahead of them. Nürburgring, 15 corners, 6 to the left, 9 to the right, with 57 meters of elevation, and rife full of history in this track. Question is, are we going to make some history here tonight? The cars getting out for their outlap. It's a long one ahead of them. But Hess, what does he have? That's the question. A lot of these drivers, this is the fun part about it, right? A lot of these drivers don't have too much experience race leading. And now this is something that we get brushed over a lot, Bailey, but leading a race is a skill of its own, and it's a skill that you develop from doing that, leading a race.
It absolutely is. I mean, it's one thing to get into battles. It's another thing to try to use the open space in front of you to keep your pace up and not let anybody catch you. It's an art that only you get with experience. And, you know, that's sometimes why I wonder when we see some of the Brazilian drivers holding on late pits if they're just trying to get that race lead experience.
As that can be as well, a lot of pressure on the shoulders, you know, being at the front, you got nobody in front of you. I know that's obvious, and you know, but you don't realize it until you're sitting there with an open track ahead and saying, wow, I'm setting the pace for the rest of these drivers. You know, I'm the determining factor. The question is somebody going to try to steal that from you and make themselves the determining factor? Well, the answer there is yes. They most certainly will. It's your job to hold on.
Yeah, it's a completely different set of nerves. I mean, it's one set of nerves to be behind everybody and worrying about catching up. It's another set of nerves to be in front of everybody knowing that you got 20 drivers behind who are ready to take your neck the second you make a mistake.
And Sharpenberry with a hydrate. Got a nice sip of caffeine before we head on into it. About halfway through the outlap here. It's quite the long one at Nürburgring. The deceptively long track, 3.1 miles, doesn't sound that long because it really isn't. I mean, in terms of length, that's actually probably fairly average for track length. Of course, you have your 2.3 mile track, or 2.3 I think is the smallest at Hungaroring, maybe? That sounds right to me. Somewhere around there, 2.6, 2.3, 2.2 from Laguna, I think, actually. No, that's crossed my mind. And of course,
like Brands Hatch, for example, one of the smaller tracks that comes to mind.
A good question.
Might not actually be that small.
And as I check off of my memory here, it is 2.4 miles, 3.9 kilometers. That's, of course, off memory, everybody.
You tell Mike's been doing this a long time.
definitely don't have a cheat sheet. Definitely not.
Alright, we're making our way up to the NGK chicane and the Coca-Cola curve. These drivers finish up. We have a 20-minute sprint, so tons of action, no pits, and of course the slower drivers from last race leading this race. So let's see if we have a clean start here to T1, which I am hoping for. Knock on wood.
I think we all are, as the drivers are eager to get underway. Very exciting. And Eric is not home, everybody. My goodness, he can't fix the exclamation mark curse. Anyways. The driver just got to out him real quick. But anyways, we come around the final corner. 2x2 Noah's Ark formation. Up at the front, Potts Weaver leading us away. Jacob Church in P2 as we get ready to go green. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Joined please Bailey here as we go green. It's already lots of people out of place for grid positions. 3 drive-through penalties being handed out. Side by side, though, for Potts Weaver and Jacob Church. Jacob Church off to a much better start, but that's Kyle Heslin having a look down the inside, trying to make it 3 wide into the first corner. There's contact in a straight line. Kaio, I think, was involved in that. A few other drivers. No, Kaio managed to make it through. That was going to be Alex Ishii. There's a few more cars off John Hawley. Oh, my goodness. Some contact here on lap 1. We're going to get a replay of that start. That was very curious to see how that happened. So here, we're looking at John Hawley. 3 wide. Okay, we can see a Noobs R Us car. I think that is getting taken out by, or I'm not sure what happened there at all. I'm not saying anyone took anyone out. Some contact. So 2 separate incidents, actually, there. And in terms of cleanliness, not too bad at the start. A little bit of contact, but everybody through for the most part. Now up the front, as we resume, Kaio putting the pressure down onto Jacob Church.
Absolutely. It was a great clean start. I mean, the first 3, I was worried about the 3 going 3 wide in the turn 1, but it turns out the 2 that were just in single file behind ended up causing a small chain reaction of accidents. So far, everybody out mostly cleanly. Potts Weaver still holding the lead. And let's like say that. Another set of contact onto Kaio.
Kai going to be an unfortunate receiver there of a contact, I think, to the rear of Chris McNichol, though. Going to be benefiting off of that, gains a position along with everyone around. That is Jake Wells in P8?
Ooh, what? Up there. Holy.
How the heck is he up 11 positions on the first lap?
I mean, similar to Ryan McIntosh, only 3 positions back. He's already up to P14, so these drivers are really making quick work of the back markers. Oh, somebody off track there.
Add
Careful rejoining.
+1. Ooh, big damage on the front end there for Devin. That's going to be really unfortunate. Hard to resume that race, especially with the conditions. Wow, big slide there for Kamal as he is going to keep ahead into the NGK chicane. Jacob Church slipping there a little bit. Ryan McIntosh, wow, you can see he is got the hammer down. But one thing here that I'm noticing, Bailey, we have 3 drive-through penalties for P3 through 5.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan McIntosh now at P9. I mean, a lot of these drivers who start in the back, they've got to be absolutely loving it. 3 drive-through penalties going to move them up another 3 positions. And of course, I believe Ryan McIntosh hunting for Jacob Wells as he's trying to secure that championship. So that'll be a battle to watch here.
And also, just an update on our fearless leader, Eric Gakasian. He is actually out go-karting right now. He's cheating on us, everybody.
He's not a fan of Simracing anymore. I see you, Eric. You're over there trying to get some real-life experience. I got you.
Oh no, Jacob Church is going backwards. What's happened here? He's in chat too. Oh no. He wasn't supposed to hear that.
He just lost grip. Yep, loses grip there on the turn-in, and that Lexus just says, nope, we're going over here now. So he's going to lose a lot of those positions. Unfortunate.
So we have a full onboard lap redemption for P14. Now, P14 at the time of that was John Hawley, but he's managed to make up 2 positions. Does that stand, P14 Carlos Guzman, or do we have a name in particular that we would like? John Hawley in a scrap of his life. This is 4 cars all battling for the same little piece of tarmac. Really, it's hard to tell who to keep an eye on. Carlos Guzman managing to eke ahead for now. You can see a little bit of elbows out there. That's going to put John Hawley offline. Kaio onto the outside. Is he going to go late onto the brakes? It looks like he is. And he's able to stick with it for now. The overdrive now onto the inside line. Kai is going to be ahead. Oh, John Hawley gets caught up there by the 139 as well. And Kai, 2 for 1. Nicely done.
Amazing driving by Kaio there. He's able to make up 3 positions. Up into P15.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
Oh no.
John
McIntosh
Hawley
looking up the inside of Jacob Wells. This is actually important. Jacob Wells trying to squeeze him a little bit. McIntosh fitting that small little portion there. Looks like we're going to go 3 wide in the turn 1. McIntosh able to put the move on. Will he be able to hold it? The over-under not going to happen. So McIntosh looks like he just secured P3.
Now this isn't P3, keep this in mind. This is actually for P2. Jace Wright ahead with a drive-through penalty. He has to serve that within the first 3 laps, and that has to be this lap.
Wow, so much for the reverse grid. McIntosh and Wells able to find their way up to the front.
There's so much infighting all around here. We have Kamal Zovic making up the position on the Darren Thomas there, and as well Danny Madreno, I think it did the same. Might have been a little bit of a kill 2 stones with 1 bird in that case.
Absolutely is. Looks like we got Kamal looking up the inside of that what is that? McLaren? No,
yeah.
that's the other Beamer driver, right?
Jace Wright in the BMW.
Heslin,
yeah.
That's correct. So Jace Wright still fighting for position despite having a drive-through. Got to respect the effort.
And forcing Kyle to the defensive. Kyle's just going to say, go. I don't care. Just go. Like, I don't want to fight you.
That is the smart move. When you know a guy right in front of you is going to have like a 30-second penalty, there's no reason to try to fight him. Just get yourself some clean space, avoid mistakes, and try to stay away from Ryan McIntosh, who has set a fastest lap by the race by about 2 seconds.
Kyle looking for presumably a P3 by the end of this race, I think. Realistically, and I think he knows that. Kyle here, like I say, he let Jace in the pits. There we go. Okay, I was going to say he has to come in this lap. Still haven't got an update there on Heck and Shoots. What driver would you like that full onboard lap for? Oh! As I switch over to Casey Swanseger and Danny Madreno, but it elbows out action. That is a wounded Porsche.
Cost them too much. Oops. The 2 cars behind them as we come onto the straight.
Oh, come on, Jace, you're getting in the way. I keep he's plummeting down the field, and I keep, whoa!
Oh, the BMW's losing it! Oh!
Locks his brakes up.
Save it! Oh, he managed to save it. Oh!
Oh, no, I went back 1 minute. Oh, goodness. Wait, it went back 30 seconds. Wait, it went back a minute for 30 seconds? Oh, goodness. Well, we're not going to catch that replay, everybody, because I'm a bad TV presenter.
Regardless, definitely a brown flag moment there. Till manages to save it. I'm sure he thought his race was over the second he hit that dirt.
Man, I really wanted to catch a replay of that, because that was a completely unforced error for Kamal Zovic, unfortunately. Because we're going to resume back live here in a second. This is still not live. That's Jace Wright down the pit lane. Coming back live. And now, okay, here we go. Darren Thomas back live, making the moves onto Casey Swanseger.
That beautiful Aston Martin with the gradients here. But past Sector 1, that Porsche should be handling significantly better than the Aston, I would think. So Swanseger going to be reaping the benefits of that as he tries to catch the pack in front. Question is, will Thomas be able to stick behind him for those opportunities? Wells able to make the move onto Heslin right there. It's nice, clean pass, nothing much to it.
Very easy there. Jake Wells, such a talented driver, and I think Kyle, like I said, Kyle I think is fully realistic here with his expectation. Okay, calm down, Kyle. Let's not try to take a Jake Wells line now. Let's.
You were saying.
Kyle needs to stay calm, cool, and collective, and he is going to finish very high up in positions. That I'm almost 100% sure of. Because Chris McNichol behind, he's a little occupied right now. He's actually got a 1 second gap to Potts Weaver, but I wouldn't count out Danny Madreno or Potts. Once these two manage to finish this battle out, and who is going to take it, I have no idea. Looks like Danny Madrano should have this line fairly easily. Gets it done, but is he too deep? That's going to allow Potts Weaver for the switchback attempt, but Potts not able to lay the power down in enough time. He is going to have to let that one go.
Yeah, Madrano with some very, very solid racing. Fundamental as it is. Makes a clean move on the T1. Got plenty of space to avoid the wraparound. And now he's looking to fight off Potts Weaver in that McLaren.
Wow. Side-by-side Lexus action here at the Nürburgring? You don't get that too often. Jacob Church and Reggie King having a little bit of a bout themselves. That's ahead is Matt Melanson in the McLaren. Oh, the
Sends it a little
Nutella.
wide. He's going to have to give that position back.
Reggie
King is going to run away with it. Absolutely going to run away with it.
But the thing is, are they trading mistakes? That's something you often see sometimes, is drivers will make a mistake and hand the position, and then the next driver says, oh, that was a great idea, you making that mistake, I'm going to do the same, and hand the position right back.
I would imagine that would definitely be the case, especially with these conditions. Man, Hawley putting that peanut butter McLaren right on the back of that BMW. Putting some pressure on, trying to force a mistake.
Let's hope he doesn't turn that super chunky peanut butter livery into a super crunchy McLaren. That's going to be one of the biggest tells. Just keep it on to the brakes here. John Hawley all over the back end. No room for error here. John Hawley on the outside, the unfavorable line. I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. Stays behind for now. Oh, that's a cut, though, from the BMW. He overcooked that well in advance. Carried way too much speed. Recovers extremely well. And then, as I said before...
the same thing! They both trade mistakes. Speaking of Caster's Curse, we are watching these events unfold live right in front of us. The Beamer sends itself off the track, and Hawley manages to lose himself the position as well.
You know, it's the monkey see, monkey do mentality, right? I mean,
it really is. It really is. Oh, man. Anything you can do, I can do, babe.
Right?
Just, oh, man. Anyway, back to the race. We've got, looks like Reggie King right there putting some pressure onto Melanson's McLaren. Looking up the inside. Both drivers trying to keep it together. Lexus going to have a more favorable line here. Power down. That McLaren's going to be able to hold that position. He's got the inside line and plenty of power to do so. Although that's not going to stop Reggie King from trying. Here we go. Outside move. Reggie King tries to hold it in there. Not able to get the power down. So Melanson able to get away with that one.
Now, the Lexus being the quickest car in a straight line compared to this McLaren. Now, the McLaren is quite a quick car in a straight line normally. However, there is one thing that you obviously can see about this McLaren that is not quite normal. In fact, the bonnet is barely attached. It is struggling to hold on. That is going to be causing quite a bit of drag. Definitely not quite what the aerodynamicists had in mind. And as a result, lovely overtake, it is to be said there, from Reggie King. But still... very challenging there overall. Devin Anthony not able to hold on.
Super, super clean overtake. And speaking of not clean, Madrano there, unfortunately having some sort of an incident, going to lose quite a few positions because of it. But other than that, looks like it's been a very, very tidy race.
Also, David Alicea currently carrying on in the P19. Nicely done there, David Alicea. Much better time around this track. A little bit far behind. I think there was a spin involved, definitely some damage picked up. These conditions not quite favoring the Puerto Rican driver in the Noobs R Us McLaren, but with time, I will say David, definitely a driver to keep an eye on. John Hawley.
Slippery slidey there for
Yeah.
John Hawley.
He really wants to crispify this McLaren. He wants to make this carbon fiber just the crispiest it's ever been.
I can't tell if he's trying to do that for his own car or for the Beamer in front of him.
Why not both?
And, yeah, you know, the 2-for-1 special there. He's kind of sandwiched in between both of the BMWs now, so he's found himself in plenty of sandwich situations. Must be enjoying that.
You think he's thinking about that? I think
Maybe not, but he'll definitely be thinking about it after the broadcast.
That
I'm
is
sure about
true.
That. And he's looking up the inside here, got plenty of speed to take on the BMW. Looks like he doesn't have the turn advantage, but he's going to try to get a better line. BMW going super, super wide. That McLaren's going to have plenty of power outside the corner. Well done from Holly, able to just make that move so clean.
Chemo, does he have a response? I'm not sure he does. Now, these two have been with each other for a very long while. You can see John Hawley very confident, just closing the racing line off, not even going defensive at all. That's probably pretty good in the wet. You definitely, making a move down the inside is a lot more tricky. And up front here, we have Darren Thomas and Chris McNichol going at it quite hard. That AMG on the limit, but Darren Thomas in the warm soup, he's hot on the chase.
I am surprised that the Merc is handling so well. McNichol is doing a fantastic job, especially with how that front end handles on the Merc, keeping Thomas at bay. It looks like he's building a gap on the straight here too, so let's see if he can hold it. Oh, as I say that, Thomas looking up the inside. The Aston with plenty of pace. Merc gets squeezed to the outside, gonna get the power down. It looks like he will have the inside line for the next turn, so great defensive driving from McNichol. He's gonna be able to hold that position unless the Aston has enough power to go on the outside. Looks like there's enough dry tarmac right there. They are really, really trying. In and out, in and out. And the Merc able to hold the position. Wow.
Darren Thomas, incredible driving, it is to be said there. Chris McNichol as well. My hats are off to you two. This is so exciting to watch. And now the one other thing as well is this is the wet conditions, everybody. When you hop on board here, Darren Thomas, you can see what he, well, doesn't see, which is just about everything.
About to say, see what and where as they come into the turn. He can barely see that bright yellow of the Merc. I wonder if that is a tactical livery choice there for the rain from McNichol. And looks like he's able to put a little bit of distance here between the two of them.
Now that's a great idea, Bailey. Bringing out the high visibility vest, you would be safe from collisions all the way around, and OSHA would be approving you.
Absolutely. OSHA secured and hopefully race secured. And Heslin's doing a great job holding that P3, staying composed, and looks like he's booting up for a great podium here. Gotta give a hats off to the driver.
Yeah, Kyle, very strong. Also, though, it is to be said, I think the biggest shout out in the house tonight belongs to Ryan McIntosh. No surprises there. 19 positions gained. Last to first challenge. And it has been successful.
Absolutely. He wanted to put a statement onto his championship win tonight, and despite Jake Wells' amazing efforts, McIntosh with that Porsche is just saying, see you later. Not even a contest.
Now, I unfortunately never got an update, from Heckin' Shoots, but also we're at 2 minutes and 41 seconds left. Again, these races just flying by. Darren Thomas just slipped behind Chris McNichol. Was he ahead?
Yeah,
What happened? Okay, let's see this here. So this is into the first... Oh, Darren Thomas just misses his braking marker by a mile. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I believe McNichol was way ahead, and the Aston, he just was feeling the pressure of the time, so he sent it up the inside, and obviously the rain was just saying, no, get back there. So he's going to give that position back to McNichol, who was probably astonished at the fact that the Aston Martin sent it that far in T1. A little bit of a surprise there.
I just saw the... Ooh, wow. Jace, though, as I said before, he is an expert in the wet. Now, who is that? That is Danny Madrano, who is really struggling here in the second half, fourth quarter of this race. Really just not been putting the laps together.
Yeah, outside of our view, he had some sort of incident that caused him to be a yellow flag, so he's just been falling off positions. Ooh, 3 wide into that corner, slight contact. Able to keep it under control, but of course Madrano, the summary of his race right there.
Madrano,
that is unfortunate.
Madreno goes off track. Casey Swanseeger follows him, following the exact line, and they resume 3 wide with a BMW.
The leader is on the final lap. Give it a final.
I am surprised that all 3 of those drivers are still on the track and well as they can be.
Kaio on the chase. Is he going to get the position here? Potts Weaver a little bit slow into the final corner through the Coca-Cola curve and a bit wide. This should help his momentum on the wet line. Able to get that power down earlier, get that engine spinning up. It's McLaren on McLaren here, so the exit is everything. The slipstream, though, being had here for Kaio. Tucks to the outside, going to break that slipstream. Inside line now for the first corner. Way late on the brakes. Is that too late? Yes, it is. That is gone.
Yeah, he needs to be careful that he doesn't lose another position here to the Aston right behind him. Great defensive driving from Potts Weaver, who has been able to maintain a very consistent, race performance here, despite going off track a couple of times, I believe. So great performance from him. Kaio probably could have been a little bit more confident coming into the Coca-Cola curve. Looks like Weaver left him plenty of space. He just didn't feel confident taking it, and as a result, he misses braking marker on straight.
Oh my goodness. I was about to start talking about how Ryan McIntosh is such a great driver and how he hasn't put a foot wrong, and he almost bins it. All right, Ryan, let's just keep it together here for a few more corners. Bet a stellar drive.
Ryan, not going to be too happy with you trying to cast or curse him out of a brilliant performance tonight.
As much as I want Jake Wells to win, I don't want him to win that bad. Heading into
imagine
that would be
just
pretty funny.
Switching over to McIntosh the entire race, trying to cast or curse. Oh man, that would be.
Oh, he almost loses it again.
Very slidey.
Oh no!
Oh, he is losing it.
Oh, he's doing it on purpose. He's doing it on purpose.
All right.
He's flexing.
Okay.
He's
okay.
He's flexing. That's
This goofy goober over here. What a great race from him, man.
It really was. Just a dominant drive and very deserving of the flex. A little drift in the final corner just to keep us interested. Jake Wells in P2. Kyle Heslin finishes in 3rd. Lovely result there for Kyle. He started in 4th, comes across the line in 3rd. An incredible drive there, but behind Darren Thomas, almost took the position over Chris McNichol. It was a drag race to the end, but Chris managing to hold on. Potts Weaver behind, same situation with Kaio. Kaio in 7th, Potts in 6th, Carlos Guzman in 8th. John Hawley comes to the line in 9th, and Jace Wright in 10th.
Amazing drive. Definitely a lot cleaner than I think some of the viewers and us expected, so that was brilliant. That was brilliant to watch.
And this, of course, being the finals of our GT3 reverse grid season. It will be, well, Thursdays will be resuming in the future. Format, I think, yet to be decided or released, one of the two. And if you are a server supporter, that means if you are supporting over on Patreon, over on Discord, or here on Twitch, you have access to the server vote, which is going to decide our next map pool. So head on over to the server supporters channel in our Discord if you are one of those members and vote for the upcoming tracks. One thing I got to say, though, as well, as it's been such a great race here, Bailey, been an absolute pleasure to have you in the booth here with me for the first time.
Thank you. A little bit nerve-wracking to be back in the seat, but you have been helping me, and I really appreciate having a great commentator alongside me to kind of help me ease back into the flow of things.
Appreciate it. Now, do you want to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
I mean, sure. What would you like to know?
I mean, I don't. Whatever you want to know. You feel free to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years old. My dad lives in Virginia, so I've been to VIR, that Grand Touring track right there, and I gotta say that definitely piqued my interest as far as GT3 racing goes, and so from there I just decided to set up a little sim rig here with some rinky-dinky parts, and now I'm here casting over some great racing.
Fair enough, fair enough. Love to hear it. Well, Bailey, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. We're going to see if we can land some post-race interviews here, as it looks like we already have a couple drivers joining us. I'm assuming that R is Ryan McIntosh. He's in streamer mode, which is very annoying for me, but it's okay. We're going to get in here and meet our drivers on the podium as we have it. We're going to start off here with Ryan McIntosh, our race winner. Ryan, how's it going, buddy?
Going good.
You managed to have a very dominant performance. I don't think there's much to say about your drive in race 1, as you basically rocketed away. I think on average you were a second a lap quicker than anybody else in the race. So I'm not sure how you managed that, but great job.
Yeah, it was just the car was good.
Fair
so
play.
I think Porsche's good in the wet. So
seems like yourself as well, fairly comfortable in the wet as well.
Yeah, I'm okay in the wet. Just able to survive and all goes well.
Fair enough. But it was this absolutely stellar one in race 2, I gotta say. Just plowing your way through the field. Jake had a bit of a better start through the field than you did, but somehow we missed it. You managed to overtake Jake and then just pretty much steamroll ahead at that point.
Yeah, it was. There were a few heart drop-in moments where there was one point where I was sideways off the track, but it was just fair racing. Jake gave us room, so fair play to him, and then just kind of went from there.
Awesome. And Jake, speaking of, it's been an absolutely stellar race from you tonight. Unfortunately, I think the championship has been decided. I think Ryan McIntosh, you are our champion for the GT3 reverse grid, so congratulations there. I think with penalties and stuff we'll see, but I think that's the unofficial result, or it's my unofficial declaration. So if it does change, don't blame me. But Jake, great drive nonetheless. You managed to finish in P2 in race 1 with an absolutely incredible attempt at getting that overtake onto Ryan at the start. Well fought, but didn't quite get it.
Yeah, I started in second gear. So rookie mistake. So I got the jump and I was like, oh no. It just didn't go anywhere. But hey, that happens. And yeah, Ryan was insanely quick in the Porsche here. It was crazy to see, but yeah, second race was absolutely wild. Just going through the race. It was, the first lap was insane.
That's why I wanted to touch on that just on its own, because your lap 1, you were up 11 positions by the end of lap 1. I blinked and I missed it. I mean, what happened there?
I don't even think I passed anybody. No, I don't know. It was just everybody was going off track, and I was putting my car in positions to get better exits because everybody was battling. Same thing with Ryan did. I kept catching the guys ahead, and then literally went from 2 seconds in 1 second down to 0 seconds in one corner. It was just insane because just catch guys, and sometimes Nürburgring is just one of those tracks where you can't get around them. Just depends on what corner it is, and everybody bunches up and then spreads out, bunches up, spreads out. But it was absolutely wild. There's a lot of puddles you actually couldn't see out there until it actually started dwindling down in the rain, and you notice where all the puddles were. You're like, that's why I'm hydroplaning here.
Now, Bailey, do you have any questions to round us out here tonight?
Yeah, I was really just going to ask you guys, what did you guys see on T1 with that massive 6-car contact there that happened? I would imagine that's where most of the positions came from, gave you guys some great momentum going into the first sector.
I didn't see it.
It was, yeah, I just was, I'm checking.
It was just break early and try and survive.
Fair play. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Oh, you got one more? Yes, continue.
I do just want to say thank you, TRACKILICIOUS, for putting on this reverse grid. Absolutely awesome. Very fun time. It's definitely something different. Different from everybody's perspective. They get to kind of, guys who aren't normally up front get to be in front and race too a lot, and just kind of gives people chances to get some different points and different racing and with different guys, and it's always fun. So, I mean, I know it was only a 4-race season, but I definitely think you guys should do it again, and I feel like us as guinea pigs was a blast for us. So thank you.
Oh, appreciate the feedback, Jake, and thank you very much. So absolutely absolute pleasure to have you in this as well. Thank you for being finally in a race. It's been so long since we've seen the great Trackalicious, or not, I know you've been in the Trackalicious car, but the great Jake Wells in a Trackalicious lobby. So it's a great pleasure to have you in this. And also thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us. Is this your first league with us, Ryan? Or full league?
It is indeed.
Okay, well, there you go. Congratulations. Takes the win on your first league. That's a great sign.
Yeah, but it's also, to be fair, Jake had a lot of disconnects, so
That
it's
is
kind
true.
of.
Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
really awesome for this race, but you probably would have been able to pick me off. But who knows?
It would have been close. It was still
Would
close.
have been awesome.
It would have been a battle down to the very end, and yeah, unfortunately with those disconnects, that did put a hindrance to that. But thank you so much, guys. We're going to end off the Trackalicious stream, so thank you all so much. Jacob Wells and Ryan McIntosh, thank you so much for your podium, and hope to see you in the future as well.
Yeah, see you, Mike. See you, boys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And thank you so much once again to chat. You guys are all amazing, of course. And thank you to Bailey. Bailey Kennan for joining us. Finally established that. Thank you so much, Bailey. It's an absolute pleasure to have you in the booth, and I'm really looking forward to anything here in the future. So I think Chad as well. Definitely going to be excited. Bailey, great first run.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Looking forward to getting better and showing my talents out around sometime soon.
Appreciate it. And thank you all once again. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. We're going to be closing out here tonight. We're going to be rating Viper GT3. Now, that's Aaron Miller, one of our league admins, or actually senior admin for our senior steward, manager, something. He's got a big title now. He's awesome. Aaron Miller, incredible guy, streaming some golf with your friends. Just a casual, chill stream. Thank you all so much for this amazing league. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll be back here on Sunday for our GT3s, which you'll see in a moment when I pop the calendar up. But thank you all so much. Hope everyone has... Thank you, Eric, for the tie compliment. I have a Christmas tie now. Finally, someone said something. I was waiting. Jeez. But thank you so much. Emirates, appreciate you for being in the league. Sorry it didn't work out being a UAE driver in North America. Thank you all so much in chat. But we are going to head off. Thank you all once again, and good night.